Hello everyone, my name is Larissa Wayne Palmino, and I'm the chair of the People's Caucus of Briarcliff Manor. Thank you everyone for coming out to our annual nominating meeting. As you can see, our meeting has been recorded by Visual Touch Media, and it will be broadcast on channel 15 of Cablevision. This will be the broadcast dates, Saturday, January 13 at 3:30 p.m., Sunday, January 14 at 1 p.m., Monday, January 15 at 5:30, and Tuesday, January 16 at 10 p.m. There's more dates, and it's all on those handouts in the back. I want to thank our wonderful village manager. Where are you, Phil? For getting the center ready in time for our meeting. There's been a major flood at the library, in case you haven't heard. So thank you so much to you and your staff. Also, thank you to the incumbents of the village board. Our village trustees are here. I can see Chaser is here, and Mark is here, and Mark Wilson is someplace in here. I've seen him before. I don't see Lori Sullivan, but I thank her nonetheless. And Brian Zerman, where are you, Brian? So thank you. These people work tirelessly on behalf of our village. The People Caucus of Briarcliff Manor is a nonpartisan civic organization which encourages qualified candidates to seek local elected office. Anyone who's a resident of the village for at least 30 days is automatically a member of the People's Caucus without any regard for political party affiliation. It's very important. We're non-political, non-partisan. Any member of the caucus may seek nomination for election to the Caucus Executive Committee. The Caucus Executive Committee is charged with primary custodianship for the caucus's 112 years old tradition and processes on behalf of all residents of Village of Briarcliff Manor. Our executive committee officers are the chair, the vice chair, the secretary, and the treasurer for a term of 1 year. An additional member at large is also appointed by the chair for a term of 1 year. I would like to introduce, we have some new blood in our executive committee. Everyone knows Aaron Stern, who's been a chair for many years before me. Zachary Jampa is our new treasurer, and Aaron Spring is our new secretary. Clarissa Josh is our member at large. She's been a member at large for about 5 years now, but she's at home sick, so she's not here with us. This seems like a good time to thank Aaron Stern, who's been a chair for many years prior to me, and for his selfless and dedicated service to our community. He fooled me into thinking that it's a nominal workload to be a caucus chair, but it's far from the truth. It's really a major undertaking. He deserves our gratitude for holding this position for so long, and I will be happy to return the reins to him in March. I'll continue as a vice chair. For many years, the People's Caucus of Briarcliff Manor has stood for a tradition of conducting the affairs of the village without regard to partisan political advantage, in a manner that promotes the direct participation of all residents of the village and that discourages partisan controversies and electioneering for party advantage. This tradition has served the public interest by encouraging the candidacy and obtaining the services in public office of many highly qualified and talented men and women who would not have chosen otherwise to pursue public office as candidates of a political party in contested elections for village office. And this is a quote. Briarcliff People's Caucus does allow anyone, regardless of financial means, to be part of the political process without spending an exhaustive amount of time seeking campaign contributions. It is a short campaign cycle and does not require heavy advertising. And in short, we will do all the legwork for anyone who is willing to step up for a position in our village. You can find more information on our website at www.peoplescaucusbm.com. In 2018, the positions of 2 village trustees are up for election for 2-year terms. We have 3 candidates that we know of that will seek nomination for these positions. So it looks like we're going to have special election at the caucus level. It's a healthy thing that shows that People's Caucus really does work. We have the special meeting scheduled for January 24. It will take place at the Youth Center. Next item, approval of the minutes for January 11, 2017 annual meeting. Do I have a motion to dispense reading of the minutes?
So moved.
Mark Wilson. Do I have a second? That brings us to the treasurer's report. Our newly minted treasurer, Zachary Jampa, will provide us our annual financial statement and an operational budget for 2018.
Thank you, Larissa. All right, so basically, the operating statement that we've prepared is basically the balances, revenues, and expenses that we've had since our last nominating meeting, which was back in January 12th of 2017. Now, the opening balance as of January 12th, 2017 was $4,055.69. We had a total revenues from that date of $3,245, making the total available funds in 2017 $7,300.69 as of January 10th, 2018. Over that year, we have had expenses in the amount of $4,343, giving our ending balance $2,957.69. Now, going forward, our anticipated operating budget for the 2018 election into 2019, with anticipated revenues of approximately $7,555.69 and estimated expenditures in line with 2017 of around $4,950. Now, the increase in expenses is primarily due to the fact that this year we should be holding a fundraiser at Orfino's instead of the community center, and expenses may be a little bit more. Other than that, we're basically in line with last year, and with an ending budget of approximately $2,305.69, which is in line with 2017 and prior years.
Thank you, Zach.
There are some copies if anybody wants to examine them in the rear.
Yeah, there's a lot of information on the back. There is sign up for people who want to volunteer, and there's our budget breakdown also. And now we will open nominations for village trustees. The nominator can make a statement up to 3 minutes, and after that we will ask each candidate to come up and make a short statement up to 5 minutes. Do I have a nomination for a village trustee? Mark Wilson? Do I have a second? I can see who it is, but I have a second. Okay, thank you, Deborah. Okay, you want to come up, Mark?
There we go. I would like to thank the Executive Committee of the People's Caucus for their dedication to ensuring the existence of a nonpartisan process for village elections, which has provided at least three qualified candidates for the 2-person caucus slate for the Board of Trustees. Good evening to my fellow residents of the village of Briarcliff Manor. My name is Mark Wilson. I am a 25-year resident of the village, and I am currently serving my 3rd term as your trustee on the 5-member Board of Trustees. I stand here tonight to enthusiastically nominate Kevin Hunt for the People's Caucus slate for village trustee. I believe that the addition of Kevin Hunt will strengthen the existing Board of Trustees, which has served residents well over the past several years. I have known Kevin Hunt for over 15 years, and I have seen him in action in several roles. As a parent, my youngest and his oldest were both in the class of 2012 at Briarcliff High School, as a church leader, as a fellow college alumnus, and also as a dedicated volunteer first responder. I believe that Kevin's following qualities make him well suited for village trustee. Intelligence. Kevin earned a Bachelor's of Science in Nutrition from Cornell University, which he followed with an MBA from Columbia University. Private sector experience. Kevin has had a successful career in the food and beverage industry, as well as entrepreneurial work in the education industry. He knows budgeting, HR, and business process improvements, which are talents that are well needed on the board. Not-for-profit leadership. Kevin is currently on the council of Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Pleasantville and is a past president of that council. I have seen him in action successfully balancing the practical business needs of the church with the pastoral atmosphere of a religious institution. Kevin's upbeat personality and good sense of humor helps diffuse otherwise very tense situations. Lastly, but most importantly, first responder leadership, dedication, and service. Kevin is a volunteer member of the Hook and Ladder Company of the Briarcliff Manor Fire Department, and as such, regularly puts himself in danger while serving other citizens. In addition, as captain of the fire department's volunteer ambulance corps, Kevin is responsible for both managing and serving in this vital service that responds 24/7 to residents in need. I believe that these qualities make the addition of Kevin Hunt a solid win for the Board of Trustees as we serve the residents of Briarcliff Manor in the future. Lastly, as a trustee, Kevin Hunt would enhance the diversity of the current board in two ways: active first responder representation on the board and geographic representation in the village. As noted earlier, Kevin Hunt is an active first responder in a leadership position on the Volunteer Ambulance Corps. He will provide insight to the board as to issues and concerns within the fire department and its members. With respect to geographic representation, the current 5-member board has 3 members residing in the eastern portion of the village in the tree streets, 1 member residing in the central part of the village by the Trump Golf Course, and 1 member residing in the western part of the village on Law Road. That's me. The northern part of this village is currently not represented, which at times inhibits the Board of Trustees having full knowledge of the issues impacting that area. The addition of Kevin Hunt, who's a longtime resident of Hungerford Road, to the Board of Trustees remedies that lack of representation. In conclusion, I believe that Kevin Hunt's personal characteristics, his selfless dedication as a first responder, and the diversity that he brings to the board makes him a clear choice to strengthen the Village of Briarcliff Manor Board of Trustees. Please join me in supporting Kevin in the caucus election on January 24th and, in turn, the general election on March 20th. Thank you.
Do we have another nomination for trustee? I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Brian Curley.
Yes, I nominate Cesar DeRose.
Is there a second?
I'd like to second.
Brian Zerman is second. Chaser, would you come up, please? Oh, I'm sorry. No. The nominator will come up.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Crowley. I am a lifelong resident of Briarcliff. I was born here, as were both my brothers. My grandfather moved my family into this town back in the 40s. My father was served as fire chief, I believe, back in the late 70s, early 80s, and I have been a lifelong friend of Cesar DeRose for 25 years. I apologize, I don't have anything prepared. This isn't going to be nearly as well-spoken as the previous gentleman, but I can attest to Cesar's character. He has been a business owner here in town for several years. A lot of people probably know him from his face on Pleasantville Road. He's been working at Tool since we were children, probably since we were about 13 years old. His parents are upstanding citizens of the community as well. I know he's been actively involved for the past several years in the fire department himself, Boy Scouts, providing community service for the community. And I think he'd be a good continued addition to the Board of Trustees. This would be his third term if successfully elected. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you.
Do we have another nomination for a trustee?
I would like to nominate Mark.
Maureen, could you please come up? I need a second, sorry, I need a second.
Second. He's ready.
Okay, we have second.
Can I just get the name of the second? Can you repeat your name?
Sean Pohar. Hi, my name is Maureen Frietta. I've lived in Briarcliff for 22 years. Over those 22 years, I have gotten to know and love Mark Pohar on various levels. We've been involved together on Briarcliff PTA, where he was in charge of health and safety, and I took over that role from him and his wife. I've known him from St. Teresa's, teaching CCD. I know he's still now a Eucharistic minister. We've raised our children together. I know he's been on the board for the last 6 years. He works well with others. I think that the board is, I like the board the way it is, and I would like to see him continue as a trustee for the village.
Thank you.
Is there any other nominations? If not, we will open nominations for a slate of candidates for the People's Caucus Executive Committee. Do we have nominations for People's Caucus Executive Committee?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
John O'Leary?
Yes.
Please. Do we have a second? Second. Mark Wilson is a second. Then we'll confirmed.
Invite the nominees up to the podium.
Well, I'm going to introduce all our new people. Zachary Jampa, would you like to come up and say a few words about yourself? No?
The village trustee nominees.
Oh, now we're calling village. I'm sorry, this is my first and last year.
Don't worry, Lisa, I make that mistake every year.
So now I have to call the nominees to the podium and tell us about themselves. So, Kevin, would you like to come up?
Sure. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for everyone for coming tonight. My name is Kevin Hunt, and I love this village. I love this village because it's the first place that ever felt like home. My parents moved 11 times in 10 years. I was around for 8 of them. We wound up in Eastchester, where we settled in for several years, and I graduated from Eastchester High School. But while I had some friends, it was the place I lived at before I went to college. My wife and I marked 2 very important milestones this past year. She's there, right there. We celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. Very happy about that. And 20 years of living in our home at Hungerford Road, number 17 in Briarcliff. My kids went through K through 12 in Briarcliff schools and have done very well for themselves. In that time, I've been more involved in where I've lived than in any other time. I am remarkably blessed in so many ways. For the past 12 years, I've had the privilege of making hundreds and hundreds of calls to homes in Briarcliff as a proud member of the Briarcliff Manor Fire Department, as an interior firefighter in the Hook and Ladder Company, and as an EMT in the ambulance. For the last 7 years, I've been the captain of the ambulance because I knew I could be of particular help. There's a good many people who say it's a thankless job, but that's not entirely true. A lot of people have said thank you. And when I might have responded with any time, it's not just a platitude. It literally means any time. I feel the same way about the position of village trustee. I have a background that I think will be a very good complement to the current board and a demonstrated passion for helping the village that I love. As far as my formal education, I have an undergraduate degree from Cornell University, an MBA from Columbia University. My career has been in consumer packaged goods sales and brand management at top blue chip marketing companies, including Kraft Foods, Unilever, Snapple, Cadbury Schweppes. I've run a small education business and served on various boards, such as Lutheran Social Services of New York, Council President of Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Pleasantville, and the Westchester Regional EMS Council, REMSCO, which represents all of the local EMS companies in the county. I'm very much looking forward to continuing in this process for selecting the People's Caucus candidates for village trustee. I want to thank Mark Wilson for his wonderful nomination, and Larissa, Aaron, and the board of the People's Caucus for encouragement, help, and support. And I want to especially thank my wife, Lisa, my daughter, Elizabeth, and all those who came out in support of me this evening. Thank you.
Chase, would you like to come up?
Good evening, all. I recognize almost everyone. I'd like to say thank you to Brian for nominating me. I appreciate that. Thank you to the executive committee for all your hard work. Thank you to fellow members of the Board of Trustees. I can tell you that's quite an effort and quite a dedication of time that sometimes can go a little bit more time than I would like to spend outside my house in the evening when I have a young family at home. But I accept this nomination because I love this village. As Kevin said, I've lived here for 25 years, and currently 4 generations of both my family and my wife's family currently live in the village. So when I say I have a vested interest in the future of the village, I certainly mean it. I have a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old. They're going to be, one's attending Briarcliff schools and the other will be shortly attending Briarcliff schools. So again, when I speak about the standard of living and the quality of living in Briarcliff, I mean it from a very selfish and personal level. I've started businesses here in Briarcliff. I've lived here for a long time. I've served on the board. I've been involved with the fire department. I have been an Eagle Scout here in Briarcliff, so serving the village is nothing new to me, and I seek your support and your confidence in continuing to do so for another term as trustee. Thank you very much.
Mark Pohar, would you please come up?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you. Thank you, Maureen and Sean, for your nomination and second. Your support and encouragement are appreciated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming out tonight for the caucus nomination. I'm going to echo some of the words that have been said already, but the People's Caucus is a nonpartisan process that affords all residents in this community the opportunity to openly participate in our village administration. It's a process which has been upheld and endorsed by our residents for many years. This system allows the residents the option to participate in the local elective process easily and with minimal expense. I would like to recognize and thank the Executive Committee of the People's Caucus for their commitment, dedication, and endorsement. Thank you. 6 years ago, I stood before you seeking the caucus nomination for village trustee. Wow, how time flies. I can't believe that once again I am seeking re-election for my 4th term in office. My wife, Carrie, and I have been residents of Briarcliff for over 22 years. We have been blessed with 3 children, Shannon, Sarah, and Sean, who were raised in this community. As a family, we were fortunate to have taken advantage of the many offerings afforded to us, including recreation programs, camp, school, and religious programs. Because of this, my wife and I are proud to call Briarcliff our home. I have been in Briarcliff for 22 years. I wasn't born here, but I had gone to school here. Both my undergraduate and my graduate degree were from Pace University. I have over 35 years of healthcare experience in various roles in hospitals and acute care, in my present role as a CEO of a healthcare system. In healthcare, I am working with policies, I'm working on budgets, I'm working with staffing and people. So as my qualifications in my personal life go, I think I could commit once again to the board of Briarcliff Manor. I enjoyed the last 6 years working on Briarcliff Manor, working with the board, working as a team, a cohesive team, and I would like to continue. I would like to thank the board, Mayor Sullivan, trustees Brian Zerman, Cesar de Rosaire, Mark Wilson for their support and encouragement. A special thank you to our village manager, Phil Zigarelli. His experience, knowledge, and leadership abilities keep us focused and on track as a cohesive board. I'd also like to thank all the employees and staff who make Briarcliff a special place to live. Once again, I am honored to stand before you for this nomination of trustee of Briarcliff Manor, and I accept the nomination. I wish everyone a great evening, and I look forward to working with you, the residents in the community, in the months ahead. Thank you.
So we have 3 fabulous candidates. It's going to be a really hard choice to make on the January 24th, our special election at the Youth Center. At this point, I would like to ask if any of the members of the People's Caucus Executive Committee would like to make any statements. Would you like anyone to say anything?
Most of you already know me, so I'm going to use my time to thank Larissa for stepping up to serve in chair this past year. The Constitution that we operate under has a 5-year term limit for someone in the position of chair, and I completed those 5 years, and Larissa took over. She's asked if I could step back into the position, and I will be doing so this year. I'm a 37-year resident of the village. I have 6 beautiful granddaughters, and my children live in Ossining, so we're all around, all active, and very pleased to be part of this. Thank you all.
Well, this brings us to the fun part, the fundraising. We need funds to support our activities such as videotape. Oh, Zach, you want to say something? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I
didn't
just
see-
wanted to
I'm so
introduce
sorry.
myself, just because a lot of you, I see a lot of familiar faces, but there are a lot of people that I have not seen before. Let me just introduce myself. My name is Zachary Giampa. I've been in this community for only 3 years, but I have 2 young children with a third on the way, and I look forward to serving you. I've only been on this board, on this committee since mid-December, but I look forward to serving you in the coming year. Thank you.
Can I introduce myself as well? Please.
Aaron.
Spring.
Aaron.
Get 2 Aarons on the same committee. That's quite unusual.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
For those of you who don't know me, my name's Aaron Spring. Some of you might have seen me a few years ago stocking sodas at Briarcliff Market in town. I'm a lifelong resident here. I go to Fordham University. I'm a public accounting student, volunteer fireman in Ossining, Engine 97. I'm a coach for basketball, and I've worked on over a dozen political campaigns in the last year. The reason I'm really a part of this is because I want to maintain the nonpartisan part of the People's Caucus, because I think it's so important and so crucial in today's day and age to be nonpartisan and to bring solutions to the table that don't necessarily have to do with petty party politics. So I look forward to serving you as secretary, and thank you for coming out today.
We are so lucky to have you guys, and we need a new young blood. So I believe I mentioned already the fundraising at Arfino's restaurant, right? So I hope everyone will come and join us. And at this point, I'm going to have a motion to close the nominations, unless there is any other business. Is there any other items anyone wants to discuss? Any other items of business? Since there are no other matters, this meeting is adjourned.